Okay, good, good, good. All right, let's get right into this. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go live, and I'm going to donate 30 minutes of time to answer questions for free. You basically call the phone number for the law firm. The law firm, obviously, it's 11:25 p.m. right now on Tuesday, June 17th. So here's the deal. You call the phone number here. It's 407-279-1754. You ask a question. You use a fake name when you're asking the question. No story mode, no question stacking. Get right to the legal question. Here's the first person. Here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi.
Howdy. Go ahead.
Hello. Hey, Walter. Yeah, I have a question. I'm in SSDI.
Okay.
And I was approved 2 years ago.
Okay.
Almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it looks like the ILG, they put like 2 years for my review.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be in August.
Okay.
So my question will be, like, I'm just giving you a heads up here for, so I got approved with the medium work.
Okay.
In skilled sample routine task.
Okay.
And I was off task 15% for the chronic headache.
Okay, so you got a vocational allowance for off-task work, which is over 10%, which means no work in the available in the national economy, which is work preclusive, which means vocational allowance.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you want to know how to make sure that they're not able to remove your benefits once this 2 years rolls around.
Yes.
Okay. What are your top 5 impairments?
First one, it's now it's chronic cluster headache.
Okay.
But before, they say migraine, but I have a headache specialist. They make it cluster instead of migraine.
Okay.
When
was the last time you had a pain specialist write a letter about the severity of the pain that you experience?
Actually, it was just maybe last week. I have a neurologist, headache specialist, and he filled out a medical statement.
Okay, good, good, good. So you want to get from that doctor what's called a residual functional capacity letter. A residual functional capacity letter.
Is it not the same like a medical source statement?
They're similar because remember, a medical statement can be more than just an RFC. It could be like, they're stating this, 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 and that. They're talking about how you interact with medicine. An RFC is an actual vocational assessment on your capacity to do things. It's a more specific physician statement. And so at the end of the day, you just kind of have to keep in mind, since you got a vocational allowance, you're going to want an RFC completed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the second one was the TBI.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is depression. I think the fourth one is anxiety. And the other one is back disorder, low back and neck pain.
Okay. So are you seeing like a psychiatrist, psychologist, behavioralist? Who are you seeing?
I'm seeing a neurologist. I'm seeing a headache specialist. I'm seeing a psychiatrist. I'm seeing a therapist.
Okay, so you got a psychiatrist or psychologist.
I used to have a psychologist, but she left.
How long ago?
Instead, I was with her 2 years, and she left almost 1 year. But I get another one, and she just did like 3 sessions, and she left. And
Okay.
It's the same company, so now they give me a therapist instead. But it's the same company.
Okay. Now, what's the difference between a psychologist, psychiatrist versus a therapist?
I know the psychiatrist, she gave me the medication.
Mm-hmm.
The therapist, I just started with her. I'm doing like a weekly meeting with her. But she just came for, we talk and try, like make me feel good. I think the psychologist used to talk more about my cognitive problems.
Okay, who in this equation has a doctorate in medicine? And who in this equation, a specialty for some of them, and who in this equation has a master's in medicine for mental review?
In all of the doctors?
Yeah. So out of the psychiatrist or psychologist that you had versus the therapist, who had the higher level degree?
Yeah, for now, I have just psychiatrist, which she's a PA, and the therapist, she's just a therapist. But before, I have one she has the PhD.
But you said
The
you
one she
only
has.
had a therapist right now. That's what the company gave you because the second person that they gave you was only doing it for 3 visits. So you only have a therapist now. Is that correct?
Yeah, now I have only therapist, yeah.
So that's a problem because your strongest evidence right now is coming from a master's level provider. Go get a psychiatrist, psychologist, behavioralist, and check into seeing what the likelihood of you potentially going in for an overnight stay at a mental facility to potentially help, because that shows crisis related treatment. All right.
The problem I'm thinking, because my biggest problem, and I was saying it, is my cluster headache. Because I get attacks. It's between 2 times and 8 times a day.
So what's the
And
problem?
It's just a cluster headache, and it's just like a very severe headache, and it's just between 10 minutes and sometimes till 1 hour. And I can't do anything, like they call it deciding. So it just happens often every day, many times a day, and I can't predict ways. I think that's the reason why they put like off tasks for 15% or more.
Yeah. But remember, you want to back this up with evidence showing that you are equivalent in severity to what you had when found disabled or more severe. But let me take the next caller. That way I can keep rocking and rolling. But again, RFC letter, you were vocational allowance. So RFC letter, residual functional capacity letter. Perfect. I'll catch you a little bit later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, I want to keep us rolling here. I want to keep pushing because the thing is, we'll get stuck on one call for like 10, 15, 20 minutes, and that eats up the 30-minute period, and then people get mad at me. So we're going to call the person who was just calling in to kind of get them going because I want to make sure we try to get to as many people as possible because I just want to be fair. You know what I mean? So we are calling right now. Let me see if we got through to this individual. Hi, can you hear me? Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Oh, yes. My name is Celtic, and I've got, let's see, it's under the dysautonomia.
Mhm.
Some of these are, but I've got, I've got gastroparesis. I've got hereditary hemochromatosis.
Okay.
I've got the hypermobility spectrum disorder.
Okay.
I have essential tremors.
Okay.
And like I said, I've got some insulin resistance and some gluten intolerance.
Okay. Gotcha. So what's the legal
But
question?
like I said, a lot of these are under the dysautonomia. If I was wanting to go down this route, which one would be the better or
All of them.
top 5?
All of them. You would put all of them. Remember, I asked top 5 as a training exercise for people who don't know how the system works. You put all of your impairments that limit your ability to work. In your case, we're talking about autoimmune system problems as the majority, but I'm assuming that's your mainstay there. But the bottom line is you use all of them. When you file, you put all of them. Your goal is to try and get great evidence for each and every one. When I ask top 5, that's just a training exercise because people don't even know what they're filing for half the time. They just assume that magically it'll turn out okay.
See, because I've never been through any of this, I thought that I had to put one. And it's like, how can I just decide between one? And then you gave me 5, and I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
5.
Yeah. You're technically going to use 6, 8, 9, whatever amount you have to go ahead and say de facto how you are disabled because you want to file, and your best shot at getting a vocational allowance is to show a lot of impairments limiting your ability to do simple, basic jobs. But let me grab the next caller. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now, real quick, everybody, we're trying to keep it to 5 minutes per call. With that said, if you need a longer period of time to go through like an actual case with me, or you want me to represent you for disability benefits, you call the law firm, or if you want like a 1-hour private consultation, we have a mini contract below. Most of these questions, though, are not for that kind of stuff. I'm calling back this one individual who called in a couple of times while I was on that phone call. Let me get it real quick. Here we go. And speaker is on. Let's see if we can get a ringtone. There we go. There's our ring. Let's see if we can get this individual on the phone and get their question answered as quickly as possible. Hi, Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question?
Hi, Walter. It's James.
Howdy.
I recently received a call from SSDI. I've been on SSDI for 5 years.
Okay.
And they asked me some weird questions about my disability and said they were going to be sending me a letter. And I have kidney failure.
Okay.
I went on dialysis 5 years ago.
Sure.
And so I was always curious that I heard that there was some kind of blue book or something, and my dialysis disability thing happened after I was 50, and they approved me without even asking very many questions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was curious about what's next.
So you're not asking me about the 6.0s. What you're really asking me about is like what's going to happen, or what type of weird questions were they asking you?
If I had been released to go back to work, what was the status of my illness? Have I improved? Do I want to go back to work?
I mean, those are all standard questions. None of those are weird. That's just a classic CDR setup. So, I mean,
right.
That's nothing's weird there. You go through that every once in a while to see if you've improved.
Yeah, personally, I'd like to go back to work, but I don't have the physical ability to go back to work.
Yeah, a lot of people are in that spot. They want to have the money and they want to have like the feeling of something to go to. Yeah. But
I didn't know what was going to happen from here. They said they're going to send me a letter in the mail.
It's probably a letter that says you're just going to continue to receive your benefits, or they'll send you something that says, hey, we'd like more information, fill out this, 451 form, yada, yada.
Okay. And I didn't know if you'd had experience with people that are on dialysis or not.
Yeah, we do those claims. To be honest, they're very straightforward, easy claims, but we do them. Kidney issues can be something where they drag it out, or it's very quick approval. But the type of kidney failure you have, I'm assuming we're talking about ESRD, right?
Oh yeah, I went to stage 5 renal failure 5 years ago.
Yeah, so I mean that's going to be a quick approval. So yeah.
Yeah, it was quick. I filed in March of 2020, and it was approved in September.
Perfect. Excellent, good sir. I'm going to hop to the next caller, but you have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
You too. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Hi, I have been on disability.
So it's really quiet. Yeah, is there any way you can get closer to the phone, or maybe put it on a different speaker, or maybe up to the, yeah.
I've been on disability since 1998. And that recently I received a letter saying that I worked too much. I made too much money or something, and I owed $68,000. And then I had to fill out the paperwork to reinstate benefits and the waiver to not owe that much because I wasn't given the right information, evidently. So I was trying to find out if I am going to lose my benefits for June, or am I going to be able to get them started back because they have been terminated without notice.
So, I mean, you can request that they continue while you try to prove that you should have received them. But I mean, if you were earning over SGA, substantial gainful activity, then you weren't eligible for those months. I don't know if your benefits are going to continue or be turned back on because I just don't know the claim. Like that's one of those situations where people usually hire me for like the 1 hour. They send me all their stuff. I figure out like how much the overpayment was, whether they applied the 9-month trial work period correctly, whether they applied the 3-month extended eligibility, work period correctly, whether or not you were in a ticket to work program. But with all that stuff, I would have to look at your claim and figure out what you did right, what you didn't do right, what you told them, what you didn't tell them, and then kind of go from there.
So is it best for me to find a lawyer first before hearing back from them, or?
I mean, you're gonna fill out the 632 and hope that they basically reduce it. But the bottom line is, no attorneys that I know of do overpayments anymore. SSI claimants, overpayments, kid claims, we just don't do them anymore because we win them and we lose money, and we keep winning them and we keep losing money. So we just I've had to cut back massively on SSI claimants because I got the entire year, and I think half of last year, we lost money on every single SSI person. So it's just, overpayments, we stopped doing them a couple of years ago. People today hire. So the thing is, I still do those 1 hour consultations, and I had 2 of those today, and one of them was an overpayment. So, but the bottom line is this: I still do them. We just do them differently, where people hire me for an hour and I figure out what they need to do and I tell them what they need to do.
Okay, so I already finished handing in the paperwork they wanted me to hand in.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need a lawyer now, or do I wait to hear back from them?
You would need one now, and you'd have to figure out the accounting as to how much you actually owe them, and then establish a defense as to why you feel, you were basically, improperly hit with an overpayment, and then you have to see if you can do any deductibles against, essentially what you were earning while you were working, what are called earways. So, but you have to get on top of that now, and you should have used that on your 632 before you submitted it.
Oh, I should have used what on the 632?
Wait, say it again.
You said I should have used that on the 632 before I submitted it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
No, but what does that mean? And what's the 632?
The 632 is the request for a waiver of the overpayment or reduction in the overpayment. So that's kind of where you explain why they're wrong as to why you have an overpayment, or you explain why you couldn't afford to actually pay it back, Yeah.
Okay, well, it's past that step because I didn't know that. So I'm basically waiting to hear back from them.
Yeah, so you would then you would fill out another one or fill out a 795 to update the record.
So after I hear from them?
No, you got to get in front of it. You're just waiting for them to make a decision that you're not going to like. You have to get in front of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I have to go to them and ask for what?
Okay, so you have to establish a defense as to why you shouldn't have to pay back all the money, or you should get a waiver, like why it wasn't your fault. And you have to establish the accounting as to how much you earned, what deductibles there are, and how for some of those months you were under SGA and you were allowed, because of the 9-month trial work period or the 3-month extended eligibility program, to not be over certain months. It's one of those things where you go learn about the 9-month trial work period and the 3-month extended eligibility period. Go learn about those. That's a good place to start.
Well, I thought I was doing the 9-month program, and I've never heard about the 3-month one.
Go learn about that one. And then, no, but here's the thing. I want to keep these to 5 minutes. So I'm going to catch you later. And then, you can always call back on Thursday when I go live again.
Okay. So should I look for a lawyer though now?
Yeah, you can call around and see who does overpayments, but I don't think there are any that do them anymore.
It's not even about the overpayment. It's about am I going to get my disability back?
Well, yeah, but remember, you gotta get over the wall that is the overpayment, because the overpayment is related to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but let me take the next caller, but start doing your accounting and look at basically SGA amounts and trigger month amounts. Okay. I will catch you later. You have a wonderful night.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and we're going to take the next caller, whoever calls in next, because I've missed a bunch on here. I'm just not sure who we've called, who we haven't called, stuff like that. I'm just going to wait until somebody calls in. But yeah, so guys, for more complex claims where there's stuff that has to be reviewed and accounting looked into and structured, that's when you do one of those little private hours, mini contract below. And then I basically, usually during the lunch period at 3 p.m., go ahead and talk to you and walk you through what you need to create and work on. All right, here we go. Speaker is on. Oh, 2 calls. Hold on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. My name is Dick, and I'm calling with a question in regards to Social Security disability insurance. I had 2 major back surgeries over the last 2.5 years, one just most recently in the last couple of weeks. The first one was paid by Medicaid, and it was over $600,000. And the second one, I don't know how much it's going to be, but it was paid by Medicare because I'm over 65 now.
Sure.
I've heard stories that the SSDI can come back and attach your assets, once you pass away. And I just want to make sure that if that's the case in my case, I want to leave my wife with something once I pass away. So I just wonder if they can come back.
Medicaid can. I don't know the case details of how it was handled or what you did, but you want to go study Medicaid, not SSDI. SSDI is not going to attach to your benefits. It's a Title II program. Medicaid can attach to your assets because they had to pay for, basically a massive $600,000 surgery. So yes, they can. Yes, they do. Go research specifically Medicaid and then call me about things you learn. You're going to be terrified and, then want to know, how do I get out of that? But, research it and then give me another call back on Thursday.
Okay.
Perfect.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, good sir. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're going to wait until the next caller calls in because a bunch of people called. There was 4 callers. So, and we're at 22 minutes. We got less than 8 minutes left. And then basically I have to go to USPS because we've got some letters back. We got 2 letters back where they were undeliverable. And I know that the addresses are good. So speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, Walter, you can just call me Jack. I appreciate everything you do, but question about the PTSD. I was diagnosed late last year with it. I also have arthritis and also a below knee amputation.
Okay.
But as with the PTSD, how is, like you said in the earlier video an hour or so ago about getting checked out for 2 or 3 nights at the hospital, how would I know I could do that? I guess, I don't know how to ask it, but how would I go about getting the attention directed to me for them to consider keeping me overnight?
So the first thing you do is you figure out the facilities that are closest to you that can do that. It's usually 1, maybe 3. And then, depending on how close you are to a city. And then from there, you call each facility and ask them, what are the triggering events that would equate to, basically overnight stay at that facility. And then you get a list from each facility of all the things that would cause a triggering event to bring you in and place you under psychiatric review for inpatient. Then at that point, oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. I'm pretty much as acknowledged, I guess.
Yep. So what you do at that point is you basically figure out which ones of them, if you have insurance, will be covered by insurance, and then you prioritize the insurance ones first.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been through they denied me the first time because I didn't have a psych eval, and then when I was in the reconsideration, I had the psych eval done. Was diagnosed with PTSD, and now I'm scheduled to have a hearing with an ALJ by the end of the year. So
Good.
yeah. So I am going for SSDI.
Good.
So,
Make sure you run
Okay.
hearing questions, because a lot of people, they don't run hearing questions, and make sure you're solid on those. Yeah.
oh yeah. I try to keep up with every video you put out each day,
Good.
and then also in between I go back and listen to all the other ones. It was really amazing how you're doing this for us. So I do
Thank you. Thank you, good sir. Well, you have a wonderful night. We'll rock and roll from there,
All right. Thanks again, Walter.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Hey, real quick, guys. So we're coming to the end. We're at 25 minutes. I'm going to take the next caller that calls in. It's two people that keep calling. I will take one of you. Please remember to like and subscribe. I know that these videos where I donate my time don't really get a lot of views, so I'm hoping we can kind of make it up with likes and stuff like that. But please remember to like. And then also, if I did help you out, please consider going to Google and typing in disability resolution, disability resolution Florida, and just if you get the opportunity to throw some stars up there, I would super duper appreciate it. I am going to take this next call real quick because this person has called me a zillion times, so I feel like they really want me to talk to him. So let me go ahead and just we got the interesting intro phone call. Very cool. Now it's ringing. That's good. Let me see if I can get through this individual real quick and get him on the phone. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm on SSI, and I have a car. I have the title of a car in my name, but it's a junk car, and I want to get rid of it. So how would I do that? Because now they're saying that I have the car. They think it's drivable. It's not, but I want to get rid of it without selling it because it's a junk car, and I want to get the title out of my name.
You are really smart for calling in about that, because so many people screw this up. So really big thumbs up to you, because if you did it wrong, they can come after you and remove your benefits for that month. So here's how it works. You go to a car mechanic and you get them to go ahead and review the car and write down that it is junked. So you pay them $100 or whatever they want to put on their own letterhead that the car is a junk car worth only $50, $100, whatever. Then you call one of those companies that comes and picks up junk vehicles, basically for, small money. And then at that point, you take those two documents and send them to the SSA. That way you've met your what is the car actually worth, and you've met your what did you get paid for it requirements.
Okay. Two documents that would be from the mechanic.
Well, the mechanic gives you the one document as to what it's worth, and then the second document comes from the people who buy it, the We Buy Junky Cars people. They always drive up, they put it on a trailer, and off they go, and they basically make money off of pulling parts or taking it in for scrap metal and stuff like that.
Do I have to sell it? What if I want that somebody else want to buy it and not a junk car? I mean, not a junk company.
That's fine. If somebody else wants to buy it, just make sure that they give you a receipt that specifically outlines exactly what happened.
Okay. Well, okay. Do I have to sell it? I mean, because it's nothing, but I can't even drive it. It's not drivable. It's really dry rotted.
Yep. So if you give it away, they're going to be wondering why you just gave away something of value. So the whole reason and point of giving it to those We Buy Junky Car people is that they create a legal document as a receipt as to what happened in the chain of title and what you received as a result of getting rid of it. That means you no longer have title of the car. You got a certain amount, and it's all on a piece of paper that they handed you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then if I would sell it, if I don't go to the mechanic, and if I want to sell it, I have to sell it from what's the value of it?
Nobody knows what the value is.
Sell it?
See, that's the problem. If the SSA thinks it's a working car and you sell it as a junk car and you get significantly less, then they can say that you are frauding the SSI system.
Okay, so if they think it's working, and if I sell it, it have to be what the car is worth. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're going to expect Blue Book value of that year car working. And if you sell it for $200, they're going to say you committed fraud and pull your benefits.
Okay, it's a classic car.
There it is. There it is. What car is it?
It's a Duster, 72. I think it's a 72 Duster.
All right. So that's a different situation. All right. So here's the deal. Okay. You're still going to go to the mechanic and get what the actual price is, but your leanings are going to be on a mechanic who says the car is worth on the lower side due to all the rust and issues that it has. Okay. And then you're going to find a buyer, and that buyer is going to be somebody who pays you. And because for legal purposes, I have to say that there has to be a receipt of it. If they pay you in cash, then the expectation is that there will be a proper legal receipt of the amount that you received.
Okay. And the amount I received would be the book value of that car.
I mean, we would assume it's around what the mechanic said it was actually worth. Because, I mean, who knows what the book value is? I mean, it's not a running, working version of that car.
Right. Okay. Okay. So that, yeah. Okay. So the legal way and the best way to do it is go through the mechanic.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it for a classic
sell it
car. Yeah.
And sell it to a junk person or either get a buyer.
No. You don't sell classic cars to a junkie. You sell classic cars to people who want to buy it.
Oh.
But remember, you have to establish what it's worth to the SSA. And that worth has to be on the lower side. So that when you sell it and you get a little bit more than that, they are not surprised. But if its established worth is on the higher side and you sell it for a small amount, they're going to say it's fraud.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You have a wonderful night.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let me see real quick. Okay, so with that said, we are going to be, we're at 32 minutes. I did it. All right. So with that said, we had a rough night. First video, they cut my internet connection. Second video was actually fine. No problem. Third video, we made it. Remember, I go live Thursday. I'm trying to not work so hard. Like yesterday, I worked so hard. I fell asleep in the tub. My whole body was aching. My knee was all messed up. The bottom, because I'm on the farm right now working, and the farm work is orange collar, blue collar, hard labor. I mean, it is pick things up, put things down. And then some of it's like literally the portable concrete saws, they're heavy and they sometimes they get away from me a little bit. So anyways, I will catch you all later. Please remember to like and subscribe, especially if I helped you out. You go to Google and type in Disability Resolution Law Firm or Disability Resolution Florida. You throw some stars up there if you want to. I always love waking up to them. With that said, I'll catch you all a little bit later. Please remember, I go live on Mondays and Thursdays usually. And then if you need a bigger amount of time, 1 hour contract below. I will catch you a little bit later. We'll go from there. And please be nice to each other. Rock and roll. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.